didn't really have... Okay, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. I believe everything is good to go. Maybe. Okay, good. Been a little delayed due to finals and then relaxing and then Warframe. But we're getting around to doing the guild event for this week, Gems of War. I am still very tired. I've been staying up a little late the last few days due to Warframe. Also, I got a stream deck, so I'm very happy with that. I do need to turn the music down a little bit. What was it? Let's see where that's a good value. But yeah, we're just gonna have a nice simple day, have some fun, all good stuff. Yeah. It's really just in general, I am decently tired. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure I got a stream in today. Plus that, I've just been having some good fun with Warframe. Yeah, I'm kidding. There's no ways to put any more bleed out. Okay. And of course they get cleansed. I knew it was gonna happen. But yeah. We're just gonna have a very cozy day today because I am still tired, and I wanted to make sure I got the stream done since I've been not doing streams for a little while. Just due to, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. Very much the, like, ooh, distracted by something else, and just haven't been getting around to it. I was like, I need to get back to trying to do regular streams. That should be good. That's quite nice. Oh, shit. I'll do that. I'll do it. Gonna find that combo is gonna be very nice. But yeah, this week's been fairly chaotic, I will say. As I had 2 finals due Tuesday, so I did one of them on Monday, and then still ended up doing 2 on Tuesday. 2 of the classes that I wasn't worried in, I did fine in. But the macroeconomics, I did not do well on that final. That is for certain. But luckily, I got enough points that I still passed. So it's like, yay, that's the only thing that mattered. But I was very much not happy. Because there was a score to try and beat. You're like, oh, you need to get this value for the final. Luckily, it didn't really seem to mean anything. Like, it was just one of those, like, oh yeah, you need to do that. And then not actually need to do that kind of thing, so. But I had missed it by 0.5%. It was just like, if only I had trusted my gut on this question, or, you know, did that on this other question. Like, there were so many cases of just like, if I just didn't do what I did on one of the questions that I got right on the second try, would have been fine. But that wasn't the case. It was just wild. Luckily, to pass it either way, and that's what matters to me. So it's like final season was stressful to say the least. And then with Wednesday, the new expansion for Warframe came out. Also, apparently a new expansion for Passive Exile 2 came out yesterday. But yeah, with Warframe, big ol' expansion came out yesterday. And it is glorious. And trauma-ridden. I feel like that's just a constant effect with Warframe. Is just the case of like, ah yes. Here you go. Here's a little bit of you know, here's an awesome story and a whole lot of extra trauma. At the very least. Yeah, it was quite the fun story. And we get to hate one of the characters we absolutely hate even more. Because it's the case of like, oh boy, they also did this. It's not just, you know, we've been given more reasons to absolutely hate them. Also though, on the gameplay side of things, because the stories never last long enough, they are wonderful things, but they are temperamental, at the least. That means nothing. I'm just spouting random words. The reality, they are wonderful things. They just are only like 3 or so, 2 to 3 hours at most. And so it's the case of like, oh, but I want more. Luckily, the 2 new game modes that were introduced with the new expansion for Warframe, one of them actually it's like the circuit, in my opinion, but one a lot quicker, reward-wise, and it feels like there's a lot more stuff to do that isn't in the usual repertoire, so it's kind of nice. But like those 2 things took like an hour total, or I should say, the normal path and steel path for the new mode took like an hour total, and it's just like, hey, that's pretty good. I got some nice rewards, and it didn't take too long. That's one way to take them out. And then, like, what else? Oh yeah, and then the other game mode that was introduced with the update really feels like it's putting the war in Warframe, because of the fact that like you're doing big old missions, taking orders, and you're fighting massive amounts of enemies. It's like probably the densest amount of enemies I've seen since the Jade event, which is just wonderful because of the fact that I absolutely love just giant hordes of enemies and mowing them down. Oh, this next turn green there. Oh, nice. And I once again went back to using Equinox, because I found I was leveling Equinox during the Jade event days. And that was when I realized, hey, I really like this 4th ability once I figured out how to, you know, use their kit. And I was just like, it was so fun, because basically what their 4th ability does in day form is just like store up the damage dealt to kill different enemies, and then you can just unleash that damage and then start over pretty much. And so it is so enjoyable to just every so often just nuke out an enemy. Or not an enemy, like a field of enemies. So it makes having like a dense field of enemies feel all the better. Because it isn't just the case of like defeating one enemy or, you know, but like you are just wiping the slate clean, just like, goodbye everyone, you are now dead. So it's been wonderful doing that in the new game mode. Because there's just so many enemies. It's like, yes, my time has come. I've also finally given them my usual transmog look. I guess not transmog, it's just fashion frame in this case. With doing the more usual color scheme. Because I had just, when I was leveling them, I was like, I don't want them to just be like generic colors, so I just hit random a few times. Oops. And then found one that I was like, ooh, this looks pretty good. And I was using that until now, and I was like, I should give you some more colors. And then I was like, oh yeah, these were just random ones. I also, after almost getting enough resources for the fancy new weapons you can get, for one of them I should say, with the update, I found out like, oh yeah, there's an event starting next Monday. Just like, oh fun. It was very much the case of like, maybe I shouldn't have been doing all this, right? You know, all this grinding before the bonus event. Oh well. I still had tons of fun. I mean, that's really why I was doing it, was because it was just, they were just so fun of missions. Like, I wanted the new fancy weapon, but it really came down to just the case of like, I really do like the big ol', or like the absolutely destroying groups of enemies. Though I will say one of my favorite parts during one of the types of missions is just being able to like get to the final boss group of like boss enemies and just like, hello, I've charged up enough damage to annihilate you all. Goodbye. It was so satisfying. I had one run where it was just like, hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye. Just annihilating them every other wave. Just boom, boom. It was just so satisfying. Just like, and poof. Yeah, I might as well take schools. No brand. I don't know nothing. They're basically dead already. I was really expecting that to destroy him, so. I am very sleepy. I at least went to bed on time last night, but that definitely was not enough to catch me all the way up. Anyways. Otherwise, would be doing quite nicely. Also, I have not been eating too well. By well, I mean proper food. I've been very much on the snacking end of things. And so that also doesn't help me being awake and alert and all that fun stuff. Because, you know, kind of need proper food in your system to actually do that. Should do that first. Also, these enemies are royally annoying because of the death mark and the freeze. I like that idea. Does he have an undead slayer as well? I feel like that's way more damage than he should have been doing. No. Okay, interesting. Might have just been the perfect amount of damage then. Nice. Okay, any bonus turn? Or I don't actually get to blow most of the board up because I ate up a green extra turn. Just do that. Grab that. Hey, he stole all the reds. Let's do that. Do that. Do that. Okay, so how much does bleed actually do? Okay. Max is 4. Maybe it stacks more, but yeah, I don't know. So weird that it's like, no, max of 4 stacks, nothing more than just 4, making it a very pitiful status effect. Okay. Whew. Yeah, this is just sleepy day. Sleepy day of catching up on things. And the first order of business, well, first order of business was Warframe, but second order of business was doing this stream. And then from there, more chores. That's pretty much it. Gotta get some chores done. This one's charged. Oh, doesn't it? I was like, oh wait, we could just annihilate them. Like when there's extra purple on the field. Oh, the annoying one. Oops. That mix going. Down that one. Up the board. And poof, he's gone. I had, with the Marvel Strike Force game that I'm playing with the guild of people now. Or for a while now, actually. I think it was near the beginning of the year that I started. There was a fun, or not there was, but I had a fun match in war this last time where it decided to like freeze. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, you know, very worried kind of thing. And then I turned it to auto, and that worked. And the funniest thing was like, as soon as that happened, like the entire enemy team just like, and we're dead. They just like, because they had a ton of bleed effects on them, and so I'm guessing it didn't want to calculate properly or run properly or something. And then it realized like, oh wait, yeah, no, everyone is just dead from the bleed, yeah. Game over, you won. But it did worry for me for a bit, but it's very satisfying with when the enemies die from bleed. It has a tendency to either just have them fly off like a flailing inflatable tube man, or they just fall right through the floor, and it's just like, yep, there they go. There they go, folks. And board. She's just kind of there, kind of exists right now. That's cozy. I also decided to get the Warframe soundtracks because of some money that I got a while ago. Game cards. I've been enjoying listening to the Warframe soundtracks, though I probably need to check to see if they've added the newest music into that and then add it to my own download or file area. Because I don't want them. Or rather, I want them in my music folder and not wherever it is, kind of thing. No bonus turn out of it. Okay, so interesting. So 4 bleed is 10 true damage, which is actually quite nice. Hunter's Mark. Okay, just the Hunter's Mark stuff. Bonus turns. Guessing you're immune to bleed. No, you've just been really lucky. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. That one. And extra. I do like the 7 points of damage to the last on an extra turn. It's not much, but it's something. Oh, I actually don't have anyone else playing it up. How sad. I've not done it. Oh, actually, no, I almost completely forgot. I've also worked on my Warframe damage calculator. I've been having a lot of fun with that as well. Not sure what else to do on it, rather other than some big things. Basically, there's nothing small like minor adjustments that I can think of. Definitely is just I can't remember what the original thing that was like. Oh, want to try and fix this, or I think I just was like I want to try and look it over basically. But yesterday I had to fix the error that I had made, namely the crit stuff. I was loading in the critical chance on the weapon as a flat value instead of a percentage, and as such, trying to divide it by 100 did not make it what it actually was. It just made problems, basically. So it made it so that any base crit chance from the weapon was minuscule, but I also had another bug that basically covered for it, where the puncture damage wasn't in taking the damage percentage as percentage, it was just doing it as a flat value. And not like the weapon one where it's just a point something something and then divide by 100. No, this was the case of it was just giving like 33. And so instead of being like a tiny percentage, you're like, okay, it's up at the, this often. It was just like, nope. I am constantly at max power. And because of that, it seemed like the crit was okay, but it actually wasn't. But I realized it was an issue when I tried to do a crit build with one of my weapons that absolutely excels with crits. and it was suggesting basically everything but a crit build. I was like, definitely think I've messed up somewhere. Let's see where it was. Because it's one of those things where it's just like, I know that I have a lot of issues with the damage calculator, but I had much fun actually making it. So it's the case of like, well, you know, there's going to be some flaws. It's going to be overall helpful, but sometimes it will make mistakes. But the biggest issue is, you know, I have to... You have to know what you can expect to notice mistakes. And so it's the case, like, if someone's just using it as the, like, oh, easy, really easy thing, they might end up being screwed over, which is really unfortunate if, you know, that happens. But I at least know what to roughly expect. And so it's like when multiple things are just not lining up, it's like, I have a feeling something isn't quite right. Nice, that worked perfectly. Oh, and then trying to think what else I've worked on that. Oh yeah, the main reason I wanted to do stuff with it was because I wanted to add the Anarch unit, because they have different weaknesses, and I was like, I'm gonna add those in. And then I found a lot of big issues. I was like, well, it's a good thing I found those. Nothing. Use them. Yeah, okay. One. Turn. It is nice and cozy. I definitely think doing some streams also helps me kind of relax a bit. Solely due to the fact that I can only do one thing at a time instead of my usual bunch of different things. And so instead of like doing a bunch of different things, I'm just, you know, doing one thing and just nice, relaxing, you know, enjoying some time. And I definitely think I've been needing it, because I basically cannot relax. Nope, the cat wants attention. I actually had to kick the cat out of the room on Wednesday because he wanted so much attention and he was not letting me enjoy the Warframe story. But I'm not doing anything important right now. That is for certain. He's been very demanding of attention lately. Oh, oh, I was like, no four ways. Yeah, it's like, did they drain mana? They did try. I don't think they successfully did it. We don't die. I wonder if the with stacks of bleed it's probably one stack is one, two stacks adds another two, three stacks adds another three, and the fourth stack adds a fourth. Yes, I'll give you attention. You need to go out? Or you just want attention? The cat, as always, is very neat. Destroy the boss. Cast it into the death. Cast it into the shadow realm. Yes, I know you're there. I was shorter if my chair was shorter. It would be easier to pet him and do things. Granted, if my chair was shorter, then my legs would be incredibly uncomfortable all the time. Perfect. Comboed as desired. I got that one. I think that worked quite nicely. I say as I looked away and then saw absolute devastation. Trying to think of who else would be useful, but honestly, I'm not thinking anyone else really would be. Yeah, we're using those two. We're using all the colors as it is. There's no overflow for anyone, really. I mean, maybe you don't even need a fourth person necessarily. Actually, I could switch her out for a goblin undead and get the undead bonus, or a better undead bonus. But that's about it. Ooh, I also... I don't know, I think the values stay the same. The book. Do 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 do. Dum dum dee doo. Let's destroy a boss. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bum 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 ba ba do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. They always explode the 4 and 5 ways, I've noticed. If there exists one, it will not exist. Nice. Perfect. I do plan on eventually setting up more of the some more fun stream related things onto my stream deck. Mostly like short videos to play during a break of like, check this thing out or this other thing. That way I don't have to set it to a hotkey or set it as a different scene. I mean, either way I'll have to set a different scene, but it means I can just hit a single button and be like, ta-da. I don't think the thinking motors in the brain are on quite the low schedule today. I really should get around to playing through Baldur's Gate 1 properly. I get like part way through and then go like, okay, that's enough of old RPG for today, and then I don't play for quite a while. Bum bum. Dum dum dum. But I already said that I'm gonna try and play through StarCraft next. Great. Yeah, let's just try. Hey, no one's got mana. Got a lot of mana from that, surprisingly. Okay, perfect. Oh, my green is gone. Unfortunate. Luckily, they're all blessed because otherwise my mana would have been stolen. And very unfortunate. Do that. Get new matches. Yeah. Grab those those. Do that. Go up the board. Always love blowing up. Take out the boss. Put more stuff on the board. Nice. Honestly, this team is just awesome because there's no conflicting colors, and they feed each other really well. I mean, he's the damage, and these are the 2 mana, and it's wonderful. I'm gonna see if the cat wants out. He settled on going out to torment one of the other people in Derry. Very sleepy. But doing alright, all things considered. Welcome. Also purple. Yeah. It's really what I want. And then. Give them. I can just do that. Oh, they're gonna take all the red. Yeah. Nice, nice. There's no bonus turns though. Somehow, no bonus turns. Oh, almost done with that. That'll be nice. I feel like we should be able to do this, but probably not this. 10-5. They took my green. How can I blow up the board if there's no green on the board? Oh, nice. Yeah, blow up the board. Oh, no, that's not blow up the board. There was an extra turn awaiting me. What I want. Bum 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 body bum. Do that. Up there. On what's your turn? And there's an extra turn that I took away from myself. How unfortunate. And whew. Probably the closest thing I get to rest, honestly. I should say, while I'm awake. Because I do sleep nice and sound. Well, I am. Hopefully, at least. I actually have no guarantee on that. I just hope that I sleep nice and sound. Already doing a bunch of stuff to try and sleep nice and soundly. Which... no, that's cool. Little bit of damage. I do like the fact you can bleed a skeleton. It feels very silly. I will say, bleed seems to be very effective, despite despite me giving it a bad review earlier. I was like, "This stuff's terrible," and I'm like, "Hey, this stuff's not too bad." Not very unfortunate, but they're undying, so I don't actually have to worry about the death mark part. Wonderful, just the freezing part, which is really annoying. I think I can get rid of them once and for all. I'm actually just trying to cycle with explosions. Try and get bless. Nope, no bless yet. I'm not even worried about anything dying. I'm just like, I'd like some bless, please. Perfect reflection. Not perfect. Didn't even get blessed in that time, but we defeated the foe. No, not the foe, but the frozen nonetheless. The frozen. Dumb jokes are often are a common thing when sleepy. Okay, out. Oh, sweet, got there. Horrible growth. Need 20,000. 20,000. I got 40 left, let's say, and about half of that. 20. Can do about fifth to a fourth of the next thing. Let's see. Yeah, everyone, all the big hitters have been doing their thing. Yeah, even if I got up to there, wouldn't be able to get it. I am going to say we've been going for about an hour. And I think I'll just kind of call it good. Too bit worried about doing everything. Get someone finished up with gold. Yeah. I think going forward, I'll try and do a bit more, do a bit more kind of stuff. But as I am a good bit tired and out of practice due to not doing this, and instead doing everything else, or nothing else really. Yeah, I guess I did a decent amount of stuff for the time it's been. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed. There will be a new video out Monday with, let's see, what will the next target be? Looks like, Pride Lands. Yeah, it'll be Pride Lands and Journey. Okay, so it'll be Pride Lands, but really it'll be probably Wild Folk or Rashika. Probably Rashika. Yeah, so next week we'll... Well, no. What are the units that I'm thinking of? There's... Yeah. Okay, it is boosted by the type. So yeah, we probably will have Rashika next week. Oh, that's not good. Which means I will probably be covering the Rashika, which means we can break out these annoying sons of guns, probably. I'll make an honorable note for them. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 3.5 times 8. So about 28 different units. Not too bad in the trying to calculate everything. And there is a lot of damage. I know going for that she's gonna hit like a truck. Just due to, yeah, by all enemy life, so that's wonderful. Yeah, he's a good mana generator. He's just a boss killer. Another good unit I want to say that scales well. Either way, Since it's a journey event, I'm gonna guess we're gonna slap 3 of these guys for that. Somewhat for that. With the whatever it is, and just go hello, bing, 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 bing. Or 2 of them with the whatever new unit will be, and this dude for the explode the board. Oh, this dude. Yeah, boosted by their current life. He also does pretty good. Not as good as the Shadow Hunter, but not too bad. But yeah, I think at this point, though, I will call it good. It's been an hour. I'm still gonna get, still getting back into it. At some point, I do want to try and do streams that are longer than an hour, but first I have to get my energy levels to a reasonable place where I'm actually have enough energy for an hour, let alone, 2 or 3. I need to make sure I catch up on everything else. However, I do think as long as I can do those things, I will try and end up streaming more often, as I've been playing WoW, and I've been doing a lot of just different dailies or weeklies, and been having fun with that. And as it's just very like, yep, this is what's happening, and I'm not trying to do a bunch of different stuff. And then also I've been annoyed with YouTube lately, so I haven't been listening to it, listening to YouTube videos as I've been doing stuff. I think it'll be a good just case of I end up streaming when I feel like playing things. But right now I do need to try and get some chores done, catch up with everything that I've been putting off with finals and then Warframe, and everything been keeping me busy this week. I need to make sure I get those things done. Yeah. I'm gonna say don't bet on it, but I might end up streaming some WoW dailies, weeklies later on today. But considering it is noon, it might be a bit late. So whatever the case is, I do hope you enjoyed this stream, and until next time, bye-bye. Let's see if the stream deck works. It's stopping the stream. Yes, it does.